You have no idea what hornet's nest you poked. Either you sit and listen, or in 5 minutes, those men will find you. You stopped being just a tool and became important. The sweat dripped down my neck as I ran through the streets of Lower Manhattan, my heart pounding so loud I thought it would explode. New York City, 11 p.m. on a sweltering Thursday night. My fingers gripped my bag tightly, my eyes constantly checking over my shoulder. Someone was following me. I was certain. Fours. My name is Amara Washington, 26 years old, freelance journalist who made the mistake of investigating the wrong people. 3 days ago, I received an anonymous flash drive. Inside were documents exposing a human trafficking network operating within luxury businesses across New York. Powerful names, politicians, CEOs. And at the center of it all, Kenji Takahashi, a Japanese-American businessman based in New York, owner of a chain of 5-star hotels and nightclubs frequented by the city's elite. I published a preliminary article on my blog, and since then, my life became hell. My apartment was broken into. My younger sister, Maya, 19 years old, received threatening messages. I stopped at a small dive bar, rushing inside. The place was cramped, dark, smelling of stale beer and cigarettes. Here, I sat in the corner, back against the wall, watching the door. That's when I saw him. Tall, sharp features, black hair perfectly styled, broad shoulders in an impeccably tailored suit, even in this seedy place. He entered like he owned the world, his eyes scanning the room with a predator's precision. And then, those eyes found mine. Kenji Takahashi. My blood ran cold. He shouldn't be here, shouldn't know where I was. But there he was, walking directly toward me, his face unreadable, his movements fluid and threatening. I stood up on impulse, ready to run, but his hand caught my wrist before I could take 2 steps. His fingers were warm, firm, but not brutal. "Sit down, Amara," he said, his voice deep with a slight accent. A mix of American English with subtle Japanese inflections. "We need to talk." "I have nothing to talk about with you," I responded, trying to pull my arm free. He didn't let go. Instead, he leaned closer, his woody, expensive cologne invading my senses. "Either you sit and hear what I have to say," he murmured, his lips almost touching my ear, "or in 5 minutes. Those men who are following you will find you, and I guarantee, Amara, they won't be as gentle as me." I looked at the door and saw 2 hooded figures entering the bar, scanning the environment with predatory eyes. I had no choice. I sat down. Kenji sat beside me, not across from me. He positioned himself so his body was between me and the door. "Who are they?" I asked, my voice trembling. "People you angered with your article," he answered. "People I also angered by refusing to hand you over when they demanded it." "Ka!" I turned to face him, shocked. "You refused?" His dark eyes finally met mine. There was something in them, something dangerous, but not cold, intense. "You have no idea what hornet's nest you poked, Amara. And you also have no idea who I really am." Before I could respond, he stood up in one fluid motion, pulling me with him. His hand wrapped around my waist as he guided me through the back door of the bar, exiting into a narrow alley where a black car with tinted windows waited. "Get in," he ordered. I hesitated. Getting into that car meant putting my life in this man's hands, but staying meant facing the men now coming out the front door. I got in. The car drove through the streets in silence. Finally, we stopped in front of an imposing building in Tribeca. Glass, steel, ostentatious luxury. We went up in a private elevator that required a fingerprint to function. When the doors opened, I was inside a penthouse that occupied the entire floor. Dark wood floors. Two-zit minimalist furniture, contemporary Japanese art on the walls, and a panoramic view of New York that took my breath away. Make yourself comfortable, Kenji said, removing his jacket. He poured himself an amber whiskey. You have courage, Amara. But courage without intelligence is suicide. I did my job, I responded, crossing my arms. I exposed criminals. He laughed, a deep sound, without humor. You exposed symptoms, not the disease. And in the process, you painted a target on your back. And you, I challenged, are you part of this disease? He placed the glass on the table with a thud and walked toward me. Each step was measured. When he stopped inches away, I had to tilt my head back to face him. I am many things, Amara, he murmured. Tercia, but a human trafficker isn't one of them. Then why is your name in the documents? His eyes gleamed. Because someone wants to frame me. Someone who knows my operation and wants me out of the way. Your operation? He moved away, walking to the window. 3 years ago, I infiltrated this network. I pretended to be complicit, gained their trust, gathered evidence, and now I was about to hand it over to the right authorities. You're an informant? He turned, his face dark. I'm a man who lost someone I loved to this network. My younger sister, Hana, 5 years ago. And since then, I've dedicated my life to destroying them from within. The pain in his voice was real, palpable. I didn't know, I murmured. No, you didn't know, he agreed. And now, because of your article, 3 years of work are at risk. Guilt hit me. I didn't mean to. Intentions don't matter, Amara. Consequences matter. He came closer to me. And now, you have 2 choices. First, I hand you over to them and you become bargaining currency. Or you work with me. Help me finish what I started. And when it's over, I guarantee your safety. And your sister's. Maya, I whispered. How do you know about her? I know everything about you, Amara, he said softly, touching my face. Where you live, where she studies, the fear you've carried since your ex put you in the hospital. Sharky, I took a step back, trembling. You investigated me, obviously. And if I refuse both options, then you'll die, probably within 48 hours, and your sister soon after. This is blackmail. This is reality. And you have 30 seconds to decide. I looked at this man, powerful, dangerous, but with a pain in his eyes that I recognized. What do you need me to do? I asked finally. The satisfaction in his eyes was undeniable. Good girl, Fours. Kenji grabbed a tablet, sliding it toward me. Tonight, there's a charity auction at my main hotel. Rich people, influential, and among them, 3 of the main operators of the network I'm trying to dismantle. I looked at the photos on the tablet. 3 men. One I recognized immediately. Richard Sterling, a well-known businessman, philanthropist, always in the news. Sterling? I asked, incredulous. The worst of them, Kenji confirmed. He uses charity institutions as a front to recruit vulnerable girls. Nausea churned my stomach. And you want me to do what? You're coming with me, as my date. My heart jumped. You're... what? He shrugged, but his eyes were fixed on me, intense. They know you published that article. They know you're a threat. But if you show up by my side, smiling, drinking champagne, clearly under my protection, they'll think I bought you, that I controlled you, that you're no longer a problem. And that keeps me alive. For now, and while you're there, you'll help me collect information, record conversations. They feel comfortable around beautiful women, especially when they think they're harmless. His touch burned my skin. And if I refuse? His lips curved. You won't refuse. He leaned in, his lips brushing my ear. Because I saw the truth in your eyes, Amara. You're not just a journalist trying to survive. You're a woman who wants justice. He was right. All right, I'll go. Good. The event starts at 8 p.m. You have 3 hours. I don't have anything appropriate. He smiled. I know, that's why I already arranged something. He guided me down a hallway to a bedroom. On the king-size bed, there was a dress. Red, long, side-slit, backless. And beside it, high heels that probably cost more than 3 months of my rent. Get dressed. There's a bath prepared. And a makeup artist will come in an hour. He stopped at the door. Amara? Yes? His eyes traveled over my body slowly. Don't disappoint me. The bath was like a purification ritual. Hot water, perfumed oils. When I came out, the makeup artist was already waiting. An hour later, I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the woman reflected. Luminous skin, defined eyes, red lips, natural curls cascading over my shoulders. And then, I put on the dress. It slid over my skin like water, a knock on the door. Come in. Kenji entered, and for the first time, I saw something break in his impenetrable expression. His eyes traveled over my body, slow, intense. You look, he began, but stopped. So, dangerous. You look dangerous, Amara. He approached, taking something from his pocket. A velvet box. Inside, a necklace. Gold, with a diamond pendant shaped like a cherry blossom. This belonged to my sister. I want you to wear it tonight. Hux, my heart tightened. Kenji, I can't. You can, he insisted, moving behind me. His hands brushed my nape as he fastened the necklace. I looked in the mirror, at both of us. Why are you doing this? I asked softly. Treating me like I'm important. His eyes darkened. Because you are. End of episode 1. Want to see what happens at the dangerous event? Comment below.